I know, folks, I'm a day late with the news roundup of pop culture, all the bad takes from Hollywood itself.
Films by the people that these films were made for. I do not need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him.
This is Duke Nukem. If you're looking for a douchebag to save the day, then try Jason King on Kung Fu Hot Dog. All right, now where are the babes?
Hear what these famous people say about it so far.
Alistair Cook.
Unmatched to this day.
Vincent Price.
It is a modern-day horror story that has destroyed the lives of those possessed by its sinister power.
Margaret Thatcher. Yeah! Noel Coward.
Very enjoyable. Unbelievable. A sort of dream.
And, well, let's just get stuck in, right? So, Till, the director, accuses Oscars of upholding whiteness after their nomination snub. Now, Till is the kind of film I don't want to go and watch. I mean, back in my days, I watched things like Mississippi Burning, starring Gene Hackman and Willem Dafoe, directed by Alan Parker. That was a very thought-provoking movie. I enjoyed that film a lot. You wanted to know about America's racial history? You know, that's a good film to start from. But the Academy of Motion Pictures Arts and Sciences has been swept up in yet another race scandal. How dare you? Will this be the kind of film that I want to go and watch? I don't think so. The fact that Coda, which is also the last album that Led Zeppelin recorded in 1982, was last year's Best Picture winner, and nobody knows what it was because it wasn't released cinematically. It was actually an Apple TV movie. The fact that Apple TV now gets in the Oscar nominations detracts from the fact that you've got film directors releasing films to cinema, hopefully an audience goes to watch them, and then you get usurped by a TV production. It makes no sense to me. It's so bizarre how the landscape has changed. So these are the female directors who were snubbed. Sarah Polley, who used to be a very good actress. I liked her. Gina Prince Blythewood, who directed Woman King, so why would that even get a look in? And Charlotte Wells, I don't know what film she directed, but neither do I care at this stage. Now here, Digital Spy covers the article, Oscars face backlash over all male director nominations. Once again, Academy voters have shown that they don't value women's voices. Oh God, because maybe like Chikwu, they're insufferable, they feel entitled. How about this? Just make a thought-provoking film without baiting it for an Oscar nomination. Just make a film, put it out there, and see what the public and critical reaction is. And if the Oscar Academy voting panel are somehow swayed by this, they might nominate your film. It's like these female directors need a stamp of approval on their films. So even if it doesn't win an Oscar, the next time they walk into a director's office and they look at their resume, oh, so Till was nominated for 5 Oscars. Wow, that's really impressive. What do you want your next project to be? That's what it's all about, essentially. Hollywood is a narcissistic town. It's all about love me, please love my film, please love my virtue signaling SJ-isms. It's such an absolute effing joke, isn't it? Well, this is not even the gender neutral category, is it? It does remind me of the Brit Awards, which is happening this year, and how everybody that's been nominated have been men as well. It makes me think if Hollywood is sending out a message like, listen, stop with the feminist virtue signaling bullshit. We just want to nominate films that we felt were great. Do you know what I mean? It kind of feels a bit like that to me.
At this point in the show, I'm going to interview Kate Bush, and she should be here any minute now.
Octavia Spencer, I like her. You know, she's a really good actress. What I've seen of her in interviews, she's very personable. But here, look at this. Octavia Spencer says, I'm not sure if the help could be made today. what's happening in society now is very, very dangerous. Now, Miss Spencer's comments come as woke tastes have turned against the help because it tells the story of black maids working in the segregated South from the perspective of a Caucasian woman. Following the race riots of 2020, Viola Davis and Bryce Dallas Howard have expressed regret or reservations about their participation in the movie due to its racial dynamics. So are we going to cancel Gone with the Wind, Vivian Leigh, Clark Gable, Butterfly McQueen? Are we going to cancel those performances in that film because it presents a very similar story? Are we going to do that, Hollywood? It is so awful. I think now, whichever platform Gone with the Wind is being streamed on, they've issued a disclaimer about the film like, well, if you're very sensitive about what's happening in today's society, you might want to cringe before you watch this film because back then, that's how Hollywood decided to present things. Honestly, there's no harm. I mean, you cannot erase legacy. It's there. That's why it's called legacy. So why is Hollywood ashamed of what it's done before? Believe me, you and me, there are a lot more atrocities being committed in Hollywood and elsewhere in the world. If you think this slice of pie, this slice of truth pie from a bygone era, you now find offensive because it's been made and people are out there to look at it. Honestly, you could pick up I mean, if you talk about the state of things bad, how about comic books? You know, how terrible has that industry become now? Absolutely god-awful. And this might be a nice lead-in to my final story for the day.
Now it is time for a break, so let's break. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. That sketch was not too bad.
Daredevil, Born Again. This series, I should say, coming out on Disney Plus, has raised multiple red flags, according to Bounding to Comics, and I will definitely trust their opinion about this. 18 episodes, and it's going to be released next year in springtime, so maybe about, March, April? Kevin Feige would later reveal at D23 that the show wouldn't start filming sometime until this year, so we don't really care about that. Now, a rumored list of writers for the show comes courtesy of the Cosmic Circus and claims David Feige, any relation to Kevin? Thomas Wong, Jill Blankenship, Zachary Ritter, or Writer, and Grenier Godfrey, Devon Kilger, and Asia Porter Christie are all part of the show's writer room, which is being helmed by showrunners Chris Ord and Matt Corman. Any relation to Roger? You might not be familiar with a lot of these names. I certainly am not. But the list contains some massive red flags. Maybe the biggest red flag is Blankenship, who was most recently the showrunner and executive producer on CW's Naomi. Her role as a writer on Daredevil Born Again also appears to be confirmed, as it's listed on her profile on the Writers Guild of America's West's website. Another red flag is Thomas Wong, whose writing expertise on the WGA includes, wait for it, race, ethnic issues, sexuality, and gender, albeit also includes legal system, courtroom procedures. So in other words, he's not David E. Kelly, probably the luckiest man ever because he got married to Michelle Pfeiffer. David E. Kelly used to be a lawyer, which is why he was able to produce such amazing courtroom drama shows like Boston Legal and of course LA Law. So I can't see that going anywhere. Oh my god, the cringe. Tatiana Maslany. David Feige also appears to be a red flag. A brief look at his Twitter profile reveals that he's a political partisan. As an example, just 2 years ago, he was blaming Republicans and Donald J. Trump for COVID deaths. From what I remember, Donald J. Trump was actually trying to prevent the COVID deaths with his Kung Flu comments. He wrote on Twitter, "My lord, if ever there was an argument for science and against Republican lunacy, this is in graphical form. It also shows how deadly Trump has been and how many lives his idiocies cost us. Oh dear, oh dear." So with all this rhetoric in mind and Daredevil Born Again coming out next year, Are you hopeful this show is going to be remotely good? And since Netflix and Disney and Marvel are too effing dumb to release the third and final season of Daredevil on Blu-ray, a proper copy, not, oh, let's go to the Amazon page and see a copy for sale, which has been downloaded illegally and repurposed on a disc with a 3D cover that looks really, really nice. How about releasing that? How about we get the Defenders on Blu-ray? How about we get seasons 1 and 2 of The Punisher officially released on Blu-ray? Because right now, I've just got these shows illegally downloaded on my hard drives, and I'm going to watch them again very, very shortly. Because honestly, if there's any more reason not to be a subscriber again to Netflix, and obviously I know this is not a Netflix show, it's obviously Disney Plus, I have no hope in hell this is going to be remotely good. It's going to be a very cool PG-13 rating. It's going to be Daredevil being the messiah, the prophet for Hell's Kitchen. He's going to be preaching to a diverse audience about wrongs and rights in the neighborhood of New York. It's going to be terrible. And we've got an Echo series. We've got an Agatha Harkness series coming out. Nobody cares. No one cares at all. I don't care. Oh my God. Honestly, folks, I don't know why I sit here ranting on about these bad takes in pop culture. Well, pop culture used to be a thing I used to adore up until 2019. Marvel's gone down this woke rabbit hole, which they seemingly cannot climb out of. This story about Daredevil Born Again is a perfect example. Oh, we're not going to actually pull back on our woke agenda. We're just going to double and triple down, aren't we? Because this is what you want. No, it's not. So on that one, guys, wow, I am full of anger today. I really am. If you enjoyed this video today, make sure you hit the like button below. Make sure you slap that subscribe button in the face like it's the Writers Guild of America. And on that one, I will see you, if you were me, on the next video.